welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week of November 29 to December the 5th. Okay, so as we get started, we're going to pull a card here to read at the end of the reading for your final guiding messages. And let's dive right into the tarot cards and find out what's going on here for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising as they move through their week. Now keep in mind that there is a solar eclipse on December the 4th. So near the end of your week, there is going to be the final eclipse of the year. And I feel like this eclipse is sort of the energy moving around so that we can close out some chapters before we begin new chapters in 2021. It's actually such a beautifully timed eclipse. It gives us, the rest of December to sort of feel that energy of action and motivation, and to really understand what is serving us and what is not serving us. What is sort of promoting our growth, and what is keeping us trapped in sort of old stagnating energy. That is the feeling I have for this solar eclipse. So let's see here for Cancer. What will their week hold for them? Okay, starting off here, we see the Seven of Swords. So it's a time of evaluating illusions here and seeing through perhaps some dishonesty. Now, this could be, we're just starting here, so this could be how you're talking to yourself. Perhaps there is a level of self-denial, or perhaps there is a situation around you that is not as it appears. There could be some deception afoot, my friend, or this could be a sign that you yourself need to be more authentic. Let's have a look here. What is the obstacle? The obstacle is the High Priestess. So there is something in your inner knowing. There is something in your inner wisdom, your own truth here, your spiritual connection. The divine connection is sending you information or messages about something here that is not as it seems. Very interesting start to your reading. So that tells me that your intuition is blocking or creating an obstacle here for you to see something clearly. That you know how I'm taking this? I see this as your intuition is saying one thing and your ego is saying something else. That your intuition is creating an obstacle for you to continue to stay in self-denial. Does that make sense? I feel like this is a message for you to say, hey, you can't keep lying to yourself. Your intuition is guiding you towards the truth about something. And I feel like you are seeing it in a certain way, Cancer, that is not true. I feel like this Seven of Swords is you deceiving yourself. And your intuition is doing everything it can to sort of send you messages to say, hey, that's not true. Or you're deceiving yourself. You're living in an illusion, and your intuition is saying, wake up, right? The High Priestess is here to wake you up. So it might seem like it's creating an obstacle, but it's creating an obstacle to something that you're doing or thinking or saying or believing that's not true. So it has to create an obstacle there, because you could go down a path of self-deception here, right? Now, top of mind for you, Cancer, is the Nine of Pentacles. So it is a time of sort of stability, comfort, and accomplishment, and perhaps illusion, right? Like perhaps this is no longer serving you, right? And that's what's top of mind. Or perhaps your comforts and accomplishments are keeping you in a comfort zone, and you're not allowing yourself to step out of that comfort zone, which is why we're seeing the Seven of Swords as a time of sort of like self-denial. You could be denying yourself something else because you're feeling very comfortable. Now, what's driving your reading is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a time where you are looking over your shoulders. You are looking around to see what's going on. This is very interesting to see the Seven of Wands and the Seven of Swords. There is something going on here that is not as it appears, Cancer, something is not as it appears. And your intuition is wise to this. Your intuition knows exactly what's happening and is trying to wake you up. But I think top of mind for you is, well, I'm pretty comfy where I am, so I think I'll just stay here even if it is a lie, or if it is an illusion, or if I'm living under some sort of self-denial here. I really feel like this Seven of Wands is here to say, rise to the challenge, look around, be courageous as you examine what's going on, because you might need to defend something here. You might need to stand up and face a challenge. But I feel like you're like, you know what? I'm pretty comfy where I am, and I might just stay put. But I don't think your intuition is going to be quiet. It's going to keep talking to you. Yeah, in the past here, we see an energy where you felt quite a lot of inner peace, and you felt, Four of Wands, this idea of being, more focused on inner harmony and celebration from an inner sense of reward. Okay, so it's like an inner celebration. Sometimes this card can mean marriage. I'm sort of feeling like it's speaking about a reunion potentially, or that in the past there was a sense of inner peace. You did have a sense of inner peace, but something changed it. Something has shifted here into a land where you need to defend yourself. You're facing challenges from the external world. And suddenly there's this Seven of Swords deception, right? And top of mind for you is the fact that you've built up a quite comfortable existence that started in the past, right? You've created quite a comfortable place for you, but now I'm worried that this comfort zone is becoming a bit of a prison, where now are you willing to step away from this, even if you start to see or receive sort of guidance from your higher self through the High Priestess, through the divine connection. You're receiving guidance that something is not as it appears, right? Will you step away from this comfortable Nine of Pentacles or not? The upcoming future Nine of Wands suggests that you're going to stay within those boundaries, and that you're tempted to stay in the sort of comfortable prison you've created for yourself. Right? So Nine of Pentacles and Nine of Wands. This is a time of feeling like boundaries, and that the strength to move past those boundaries, you're not feeling like you can summon the strength to move past some of these boundaries. It's like, oh boy, the feeling I'm getting here is that you started something in the past that felt very much like you were feeling very connected to whatever this is, and it was creating a lot of inner peace and inner peace, as well as sort of celebration, right? Like you were feeling really, really good about this, and feeling really solid about this expression of yourself. And now in the present, it's almost like someone has been watching you, and now is coming in to challenge you, and your reaction to this is almost one where you're feeling like you don't want to acknowledge it. I feel like you're almost in favor of staying in denial of it rather than standing up against it. And that could just be a reflection of the journey that you've taken, right? It may have started off being very much of an inner celebration, but now in the near future, you find yourself feeling quite bound. You're bounded. You're defending your boundaries, but almost from a place of exhaustion rather than a place of empowerment. I feel like this journey has taken you through the ringer, right? And you're almost saying, well, I've gotten to a place now where I'm comfortable, even though I'm exhausted. I don't want to move. Like I'm gonna defend my comfort zone, even if it means sort of self-denial here, or self-deception. It's very interesting. The inner dialogue, Page of Pentacles, is really saying hey, we've got a lot of talents, skills, and abilities here that we could use in a different way. But will you? It's interesting. Your inner dialogue wants to start again. But will you? Will you step out of the comfort zone, right? You've got these two cards, these two nines and these two sevens are making me think that you're all wrapped up in your own comfort and this perception that there are people that might be envious, or there may be external there may be factors in the external world that are now watching you because you've gained this status, and it's almost like there's a part of you that I sense is feeling afraid to start again. And it might be fear, it might be exhaustion, it might be the comfort zone sort of saying, well, you know, we're good where we are. But I don't think so. I'm feeling like you felt that in the past, that the inner peace was there, but now that inner peace has been replaced by suspicion of those around you, and even suspicion of your own motives. So it's moved away from inner peace and into something that has turned into where it's like you need some support because the self-care is lacking, and you're all wrapped up in the fact that you've created a prosperous sort of foundation for yourself, and your inner dialogue is like, come on, we got to rock the boat. We've got to rock the boat and start again. We must. And it's interesting. I don't know if you're going to go for it. Let's see. The outer expression of yourself is the Ten of Swords. I think you're not only feeling sort of tired and that you need more self-care, but that a part of you feels like something has come to an end, but you're denying it to yourself. And outwardly, it's very obvious. I feel like outwardly, it's very obvious that you need to put an end to this cycle that started off really good. But now even your intuition is saying to you, no, we gotta shift. We must use our talents in a new way. I feel like whatever it was that you started in the past, it's time to resolve it, put it to bed, and move into a new direction. One that is guided by your intuition quite strongly here. So it's interesting, Cancer. This is very interesting. You are needing to make a choice about a new direction for yourself. And it's proving to be challenging because there's some deception around you, and you're exhausted. And you're also comfortable, ironically, right? It's like you're exhausted from all of this sort of creative expression. You've sort of tapped yourself out, like you need to recharge, but you're also quite comfortable where you're at. You know, it's like you've become comfortable with this, but that Seven of Swords is sitting there saying to me that you're denying yourself something, you're deceiving yourself. Now, your hopes and fears are all wrapped up in these endings. A part of you is thinking to yourself, if you end this Ten of Swords, right? Like if you move towards sort of closing out this chapter, a part of you is like, well, then what do I do? Right? There is that Page of Pentacles. I feel like you know where to go next, but it's very raw. It's new. It's not developed. This is not a developed idea yet. It's an inspiration to start new. And so the bigger part of your mind is freaked out about the consequences, is worried about what will happen if I close out this chapter. If I do use my talents and skills in a new way, and I leave the nest that's so comfortable in the Nine of Pentacles, even though I need a lot of self-care right now and I'm exhausted, if I go ahead and start over again, what's that going to look like? And it's like you're talking yourself out of it before you even do it. Even though a part of you is curious about maybe this will result in freedom again, like it did in the past with the Four of Wands. You know, the last time you did a big shift. It worked in your favor, but it's almost like you've stagnated, you know, like even at the start of this reading, when I was talking about the solar eclipse, I was talking about sort of stagnant energy. And I feel like that's what's happening, Cancer. I feel like this story's finished. You did it already. And now you must have the courage to challenge yourself again. And your intuition is giving you that insight. And you received this really auspicious new beginning with this Page of Pentacles, but it's like, it's so new to you because you've been on this track for some time. But I feel like whatever you've been doing, it's come to its natural conclusion, and now it's stagnating. You need to shift. You need to shift. End of the reading here, the final outcome is the Two of Pentacles, which is opposing forces. You're not sure. A part of you knows that, you know, it's time to begin again. It's time to take this inspiration and begin again. And then the other part of you is like, well, but what about these outcomes? What about the consequences? What about the ending here? How will that impact things? And ultimately, we are searching for balance and harmony. This is a time where you're juggling. You've got opposing forces and you're not sure which one to take. And I feel like in times like this, it's interesting to sort of just go with what your intuition is guiding you towards, right? Go with the option that feels like it's coming from within, right? Take the option that goes away from fear, right? Like, don't choose the option that is saying you won't succeed, you can't do it. Believe in your talents, skills, and abilities and go for that option, right? This gift that's coming in through your intuition is trying to help you close out stagnant energy and choose a new path. And on the bottom of the deck, we see the Hermit, which is the perfect card for you. Another 9. You've got the 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Wands, and now 9 in the Hermit, because it's time to close out a chapter and reflect on the wisdom that you have learned here. Doing the inner work, the healing in solitude, so that you can see the wisdom of this ending. So that you can see the wisdom of this ending and that you can begin again without fearing consequences, just trusting and going with your intuition. Now, to close out your reading, let's see what your oracle card is. Oh, it's the Wheel of Life. How perfect is that? So this says, I am guided by the cycles of life and live in complete harmony with them. Exactly. And I feel like right now you're not in harmony. You're in stagnation. And this Two of Pentacles speaks of harmony and balance. And so does this this idea that you need to sort of separate from this cycle that it's I feel like it ended in like a while ago. Like I feel like you have been sitting in the space of needing to close this out for some time, and it's all over you, right? With this 10 of Swords, it's an outward expression now. But as you look at this Wheel card, this Wheel of Life, I think I said the Wheel of Fortune, excuse me, the Wheel of Life, it is a balance. It is a balance, right? There is a balance that's created here harmoniously, and you're harmonious within the cycles of your life. So you're able to end and begin things as they naturally finish out. And I feel like this cycle did finish, and you might just be hanging on to it because it's comfortable. But you're exhausted. So how comfortable can you be? You know, I think you've created a pedestal for yourself where it's comfortable, but it's a prison. And you're totally detached from this new path, because you've got to be willing to sort of finalize and shut down the path you're on before you can begin this new one. And I feel like you're just wrapped up with fear about what lies ahead. But really, I feel like allowing that High Priestess and this Wheel of Life card to sort of guide you into completing things to begin again will be the most beneficial outcome for yourself, because I feel like you're sitting in old energy. And the Hermit is on the bottom of the deck. to help you clear out that energy so that you can begin again. And look at the card behind the Hermit. It's the Wheel. Or the World, not the Wheel. Sorry, this is the Wheel. The Wheel of Life, and then the World. So we see here you are closing out a chapter. You finished. Now it's time to start again, right? It's time. I'm going to leave it at that for you, Cancer. What a beautiful reading for you. I'm excited to see what the future holds once you close out this chapter. Now, if this has resonated and you would like a personal reading, you can find my email in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And we'll see you again very soon for another reading. Sending you lots of love and light, my friends. Have a great week.